everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be diving into my affordable, ultimate, holy grail, best of guide, right? And when I was deciding what I wanted to do for this video, at first I was like, okay, drugstore makeup, but then I was like, what does drugstore really mean? Because I have a few brands in here like Essence and Catrice that aren't really at like CVS or Walgreens or Rite Aid, but you can get them at Ulta, and also a couple like Morphe products and things that are generally affordable, but you may only be able to find at Ulta, or if you live near a Morphe store, then Morphe or online. But I just wanted to include all affordable makeup because I was just like, if it's a few dollars and it's good, then why not mention it too, you know? So yeah, but I'm really excited for today's video. These are products, most of them I have been using and loving for months, and they're tried and true. A couple are newer to me, but I really stand behind them and think that they are great, and I don't have to use them for several months to know that they will be in my favorites for a long time. I mention that I'm wearing most of the stuff applied on my face right now, like what you see on my face. Everything is affordable, everything is from this collection of products, but I obviously couldn't put every single item on my face just because I have multiple highlights, multiple blushes, multiple bronzers, multiple lip products, things like that, and I obviously have one face, so I couldn't try them all on for you. But yeah, okay, so without further ado, don't forget to please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you know when I post, typically Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. All right, so the first thing I want to mention, okay, I'm gonna be honest and say that this isn't like my holy grail. I haven't really found like my holy grail primer yet, but this is the one I'm wearing today and I really do like it. This is the Catrice Prime and Fine Pore Refining Anti-Shine Base, and what I like about this is that it is mattifying. It claims it's long-lasting and oil-free, but I like it because it comes out like a lotion, but then you blend it out and it's very thin and silky, but it becomes tacky, so it really like your makeup in. So it's really good at making your makeup last. It's not like that silicone-y pore filling texture. It's one of the more like long-lasting ones that grips onto your makeup, and I really do like it. But I really do think this is a great option from the drugstore / Ulta, and it is probably my favorite of my affordable primers. Okay, next up, let's talk foundation. I have two favorite drugstore foundations. The first one is the one I'm wearing on my face right now. This is the LA Girl Pro Matte HD High Definition Longwear Foundation. It looks like this, comes in a pump, and I love this because it blends. I'll show you. One pump goes such a long way. I use two usually. You can see it just blends in so seamlessly, and I love the coverage. The pump is so nice. It shoots out like a generous amount of product, and it's not like finicky. You get a sure, secure amount every time, and it's very consistent. So props for that. You do get one fluid ounce, which is a standard like typical foundation amount, for I believe $8.99 at Ulta. I am in the shade medium beige. This keeps me matte all day. It's probably one of the most like mattifying foundations, but it's not like a flat matte. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of more like a satin matte. Yeah, I really love this stuff. Another foundation I really love is the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus foundation in the shade Golden Beige. This is my second bottle, and typically, with the exception of a few foundations, I don't really repurchase that much because I'm always trying out different things. You know, this industry, there are so many foundations, so many beauty makeup items that are constantly launching, and I always kind of want to try like the newest and the hottest and the best, but some things like are just so good. This again is in the shade Golden Beige. This is a satin foundation. It's not dewy. It's like that perfect matte kind of satin finish. Comes with a little spatula. I actually do like the packaging. I don't mind it because I can just like swipe a few lines on my face, and this is what it looks like. It blends and it's a little bit thinner than the LA Girl foundation. Okay, yes, it is the 4th of July as I'm filming this, and people, it's broad daylight, like I want to say 2 in the afternoon, and people are already shooting out fireworks. Anyway, as I was saying, this foundation is amazing. The PhotoFocus line is a great line from Wet n Wild. People complain about the smell, saying that it smells like paint thinner. It's not the best smell, but for me personally, I don't mind at all. But then again, I'm not super sensitive to scents. If you are, you might not like this. But with that being said, I don't think this irritates my skin. I like the finish every time. It's very buildable, but it's very like lightweight on the skin. So This is a good one too. Okay, and then moving on to concealer. I have 3 I want to share with you. I'm actually wearing all 3 of them on my face. So initially, to kind of highlight under my eyes, I went in with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, and this is in the shade Light 18. They recently rebranded, I think, their shade names for their... Are you serious already? Achoo! Achoo! They come in 2s.
Okay, Mila. I know you're scared.
Really though? It's like 2 in the afternoon. Like, I don't understand. Hey, as I was saying, they rebranded the shade names, and this I think used to be Light 20. These do darken right after you apply them, so just be wary of that. Other than that, I love the consistency. I love the texture of this. I love like the little wand. It's like this doe foot applicator, but it's very flexible and it allows you to disperse like a lot of product in one swipe. So I really love that. Super creamy. It's just great, and it's $6. And then the other concealer I kind of popped right in the corner is the Catrice Cosmetics Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. This is in the shade Light Beige. The only con is that there are only 3 shades to this, and I don't understand why. But this is great at just really brightening like the inner corner of your under eye. The wand looks like this, so it's like that slanted doe foot situation. And I think this has great coverage as well. I think both of these have amazing coverage. This one's a little bit more liquidy. This one's a little bit more creamy. But regardless, I think they are the best kind of like under eye concealers. And this is a great spot concealer too. I actually have my spot concealing shade in the shade Medium 30 for the ColourPop one. And this is actually my second tube of the Light 20/18. But yeah, good stuff. Okay, and then the last concealer I want to talk about is the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus Concealer. You guys recently saw this in my June favorites. If you haven't watched that, I will link it below. I'll go into more detail in that video, but this is so good. It kind of has that same kind of slanted doe foot applicator, and it's so creamy. I bought this shade in Medium Tawny as my spot concealer. I love this. It's part of their PhotoFocus range. It's good stuff, blends out really well, has really nice coverage. I really, really recommend it, and it's only $3. Okay, after concealer comes powder, and I want to talk about my under eye powder. That is probably no surprise to you. This is the Wet n Wild MegaGlo Contouring Palette in the shade Caramel Toffee, or Caramel Toffee if you will. This speaks for itself, the fact that I'm like hitting pan. I use this every single day. I do like this contouring side too. I will say that these are very pigmented and have a lot of kick up when you put your brush into them. They're very soft powders, which is why I hit pan pretty fast. But I use this banana shade every single day to brighten up my eyes. It's so good. It's just so creamy, and it goes on so nicely. And I honestly think that for $4 or $5, however much this was, it's so worth it. You get a contouring shade, which is honestly warm enough for me to use as bronzer if you're just on the go and you need only like one thing to bring with you. I think this is a great like powder contour highlight duo. It's so good. And then I want to talk about my all over face powder. I gotta be honest, I don't really have a holy grail like pressed drugstore powder. My favorite pressed powder is the Cover FX Perfect Press Setting Powder. That is amazing for touch-ups and stuff like that. But in terms of like pressed drugstore affordable powders, I don't really have a holy grail yet. However, I love this powder. You guys probably know because I use it in so many of my videos. This is a Hard Candy Fast and Fabulous Translucent Loose Powder. It looks like this. Oh, I got some in my eye. Be careful with that top. Powder shoots out pretty quickly, as you could tell. But I love this because it gives you such a nice veil to the face. I don't know if you can tell. Like, I'm wearing it right now. It just makes your skin look so smooth and velvety. I love it for the daytime because this gives so much flashback because it is that stark white like HD powder. I love it because it doesn't have talc, but it does have other things that will make you look like white in flash. So I wouldn't recommend this for flash photography, but this is so good, so affordable. I think it was around $6 or $7, and Hard Candy is an affordable brand that you can find at Walmart. Okay, next up for bronzer, I have 2 bronzer favorites. The first one is the one I'm wearing on my face right now. This is the KiKo Flawless Fusion Bronzer Powder. This stuff is so good. First of all, this packaging is amazing. And KiKo is one of those lesser known brands, I feel, but they have really inexpensive makeup online. Or not really inexpensive. I would say they're more in between like drugstore to high end. Like they're in the middle of that range. And honestly, this packaging is so nice. It comes with like a little mirror. It's so good. It's so good. This is in the shade 06 Cinnamon, and these powders are so creamy. Like, you can see how easily like that blends out. I'm wearing it on my face today. I think it's amazing. And the other bronzer I want to shout out is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I mean, I can't stop using it. Definitely gonna be in my July favorites because this is a bronzer I've been loving. I know it's just bronzer. Like, I personally haven't picked up the deeper bronzer yet, so this is like a little bit light for me, but I make it work because you can layer it so much and it's so buildable. It goes on so smooth. So this is a butter bronzer. You can see it's not as pigmented as a KiKo right off the bat. But that's what I love about it. You can go in with a heavy hand and build it up. And honestly, in my opinion, it's easier to go in with a not as pigmented powder and build it up as opposed to going in with like a super pigmented powder and then having to like correct it and veil and, you know, try to cover it. But this is so good. They have a few more shades. They need more. Smells like summer, smells like paradise, which is also probably why I've been using it a lot. All right, and then now let's talk about blushes. I have two different blush formulas / brands, and the first one I want to mention is the Milani Baked Blush. And I do just want to say it was really hard narrowing down my favorites. So this is the Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. Okay, this is under $10 and it just gives you the most beautiful corally glow. Like, it's just so, I don't know if you can see it on my face, it almost looks like a highlight, but no, it definitely is a blush. But I love it because, as I mentioned in my June favorites, it's the kind of blush that I always put on, like if I'm running out the door, I'm late for work, I'm late for a meeting, I'm late for an event, and I just need I need to put something on my face. I will skip bronzer and highlight altogether and just put on this shimmery blush because it's so smooth. It's not chunky and glittery, but it will give me that life to my skin, that color and that glow without, you know, all these different products. So it's so good and I love it so much. And then the other blushes I want to mention are the Essence Satin Touch blushes. I've decided that these are my favorite like matte satin blushes from the drugstore. I love the Wet n Wild Color Icon. I love the Burt's Bees Bare Peach, but honestly, these are so good and they impress me every single time, especially for the price point. These are $3 blushes, I believe. I'm currently wearing the shade Satin Love on my face right now, which is this one. It's more of like a nude toned blush, but they pack pigment. So this is Satin Love, as you can see right there. They're so creamy. Like, you would not believe how creamy these are when you put your fingers into the pan. Like, oh my god, it's so amazing. The pigment is there, but they just go on with such a sheen. It's just so beautiful and I highly recommend it. You cannot go wrong. All right, and then onto highlights. Another Essence product I want to mention is the Essence Pure Nude Highlight in the shade 10 Be My Highlight. I think they recently just came out with some other shades, but this one is so beautiful, guys. I mean, it doesn't look like anything impressive in the pan. When you swatch it, you can really see the glow. And I love packing this on with like a denser synthetic brush, like my BH Cosmetics one, my ColourPop one, or my Real Techniques ones, because this just goes on so smooth. It's not the highlight I'm wearing right now, but I love this on a daily basis, and I do think that it is so worth the money. It's only $3 and you get a sheen because there's no glitters. You just get like that nice shine to your face. It's stunning. And then if I want to go on the other side of the spectrum, this is probably the most blinding highlight in my collection. I've tested it against all of my other highlights. Ofra, Tarte, Model's Own, Mary Luminizer, Wet n Wild. This is freaking amazing. This is the j.cat Crystal Sand Highlighter. This is actually the product that inspired me to make this video. You guys have seen me talk about this all the time. It's a baked formula, so it's super smooth. They have a few different shades, but oh my goodness, the swatch doesn't even do it justice. Every time I wear this highlight, it's this one right here. First of all, you can see just how much more blinding it is than this one, but it's the highlight I'm wearing on my face right now. I barely put any of it on because I didn't want to be so intense because it is still the daytime. I just applied it really, really lightly with a fan brush, but my goodness, you can build the sucker up so much. People will see you from Mars. It is the most blinding highlight, and you wouldn't think like j.cat, like they're not one of the more popular brands at the drugstore, I feel, but this is so good and it's baked, so it's so smooth and creamy. It does have like little, I want to say it has like little glitter in it, but it doesn't translate as like individual glitters on your face. It just kind of all comes together to create a sheen. It's just so beautiful and so worth the money. It's my favorite highlight ever. I love it. All right, now that we've got our face products kind of out of the way and this video is already so long, I want to talk about eyebrow products. I only have 2 to share with you and they're both by NYX. This is my holy grail drugstore eyebrow pencil. This is the micro brow pencil in the shade Espresso. I have mentioned this so many times. I'd say it's more waxy than it is creamy, but it's a very forgiving pencil. It's what I use on my brows today. I just kind of outlined the top and the bottom to kind of create the tail and the shape. And it's so easy to work with. The spoolie is really nice. It's thin, so it's not like an Anastasia spoolie, but it's great when you want to like really like precisely kind of like brush out individual like hair strokes. And then the brow gel I want to talk about that I've just got to say it's like my favorite drugstore brow gel of all time. This is the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara in the shade Espresso. I'm also wearing this on my brows right now. For those of you who have been watching my videos, you know that on a daily basis when I'm going to work or, you know, really just not going anywhere important, I'll just use brow gel. I won't even bother with brow pencil, but this is so good. Like, it looks like a mascara wand, and I love this wand because it deposits the perfect amount of product. It's not too thin, it's not too thick, it's not too goopy. It literally gives me really nice natural looking brows, and I love it so much. NYX, great brow products from the drugstore, I gotta say. Okay, and then moving on to eyes, let's talk about the eyeliner that I think is so good. This is the No. 7 Stay Perfect Amazing Eye Pencil. Honestly, it's just a regular black hole liner. It's not a retractable one, it's a pencil wooden one. So you might be thinking like, oh, that's not creamy, but wrong. This is probably the most creamy eyeliner I have in my collection, even though it is like a wooden one. It's what I use to tightline, it's what I use on my eyes today. I don't wear eyeliner often, I gotta say, but from the drugstore or affordable, I think this is so good. I've had it for so long, and the beautiful thing about this is that you can just keep sharpening it until it gets down to like this size, so it will last you for a really long time. And then for mascara, I had to narrow down my collection of drugstore mascaras, which is pretty hefty at this point, but the one that beats them all is the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. And I gotta say, if you're looking for an affordable brand of mascara, I always recommend Essence. I have so many Essence mascaras in my collection, honestly, but this is probably my favorite one of them all. It's what I'm wearing on my lashes right now. I've mentioned it in a video. This has like the curved wand, so it's really nice for curling your lashes, but it also gives them like a decent amount of like volume and length. It's so good. I also want to mention the Catrice Glam and Dull Volumizing Mascara Primer, because I do not ever go in with mascara without primer. So I know it may seem like an extra step to a lot of you, but I honestly think this is so good. This looks like this. It has argan oil, and it just looks like a mascara wand with just like white product on it. I honestly didn't like it at first because no product was coming off of it, but once I worked with it more, a lot of product comes up on it, and it really preps my lashes and it prevents like hairs from falling out. I think it's really, really good stuff. So now we go on to eyeshadows, and I wanted to really just narrow this down to 2 brands. I honestly think the best affordable shadows are ColourPop. I think that for the price, I think these palettes are like $16 for 12 shades. And then this is the Polite AF set that comes with 6 Super Shock shadows, and I believe it was like 20 something dollars, $30, I don't really remember, but this packaging is so cute. ColourPop is one of those brands that I think is so trendy and so on point with like their aesthetic, but they really cater to a lot of different people, a lot of different demographics, because they offer really, really high quality products at a really affordable price point, in my opinion, and I've just loved them. So the palette I'm wearing on my eyes right now is the I Think I Love You palette. It looks like this. It's so beautiful. I'm going to swatch a few shades for you. I just think they're so creamy. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, look. These are so beautiful and reflective and pigmented. I just love them so much. And I'll tell you what I have on my eyes right now. So I have this shade all over my transition shade. This like hot, fiery, kind of like warm copper foil all over my lid. I have this deep brown in my outer corner in my crease, and then I have this beautiful like shimmer white in my inner corners and highlighting my brow bone, and I have this deep brown also smudged all over my lower lash line, and then obviously went in with this eye pencil as well. This is such a beautiful neutral brown palette. And then the Kathleen Lights and Dream Street palette, I'm sure you guys have seen this all over the internet. This is so good as well. The shadows blend so nicely together, and like, come on, look at that teal. Like, I can't even. I've actually used this in a tutorial. If you guys have seen, it's my raspberry kind of like copper smoky eye tutorial. It's so good. Like, the pigment on these is unreal. I just think these shadows are amazing, and I honestly would not recommend any other affordable brand. I know that you can only find these at Ulta or online, but to be honest, like a lot of other drugstore like products, I like them, but they're just not my favorite. I think these are way better. I would suggest spending a little bit more money and getting these because they're so worth it. And then the Polite AF Super Shock shadows are so good from ColourPop as well. They make great kind of like all over lid shades or lid toppers. This is the shade Birthday Cake. I use this all the time as like a glitter lid topper. It's so beautiful. So I want to be honest, and I do want to talk about this Morphe palette. This is a little palette that you can't get anymore, but honestly, this is like my favorite traveling palette ever. You get the most beautiful brown neutral shades, and the quality on these is so good. Like, I'm gonna swatch them for you without cutting the camera so you can see. So this is probably like my favorite like little traveling palette, and I had to mention it. And then I have to mention this guy. I don't want to say it's affordable because it is $38 for 35 shades, but you guys, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I genuinely believe that this is really good quality. I know this is a really hot topic, but I think that these are so creamy and so pigmented. Like, I'm just gonna swatch a few of them for you right now. They just go like, come on. I don't know, in my opinion, I think these are really beautiful, and I've used pretty much like all the colors. Whenever I want a colorful look, I know that I can dip into this palette and I will be able to get a good look. Oh my god, this one is so creamy. What? Like, just look at that. I just feel like a lot of people don't like Morphe, they don't like Jaclyn Hill, and regardless of how you feel, I just think that for 35 shades, $38 isn't terrible. I'm not gonna say it's affordable because it's not like a $10 palette, but for what you get, and I honestly believe that this is like a great kind of like all-in-one palette because you get so many colors, so many warms, so many neutrals. This is a great deal. It's not affordable, but it's great for what you get in terms of the price and the number of shadows, the finishes, the pigment. I think it's really nice. I've used this so many times. I have a tutorial using these shades for like my spring look. I love doing like a purple smoky eye with this color right here. I use the warms and the neutrals all the time. I think it's really good, and I do want to just say these are probably my favorite Morphe palettes that I own. Just saying. Okay, this video is so long, but let's finish this up with lip products. Okay, so I have two liquid lipstick brands that trump them all. The first one is the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip. I have the shades Alyssa, Echo Park, and Tulips. God, these are so good. Personally, for me, in a liquid lipstick, I'm not looking for something that's super matte because my lips are so dry. I'm just looking for that all over color and something that's really gonna stay on but not like make my lips feel bone dry. So these are some swatches of the ColourPop ones that I own. This is Alyssa, that really beautiful mid-tone pink. This is Echo Park, a peachy nude for my skin tone at least. And then this is Tulips, a really beautiful kind of like grungy purple. I think these are great. They're $6.50, I believe. The other ones I want to talk about that you can literally just run to your CVS or Walgreens and get right now are these NYX liquid suede lipsticks. I have the shades Soft Spoken, Kitten Heels, and Sandstorm. I have mentioned these on my channel so many times. They have like a flatter kind of like wand, so it makes it easy to be more precise in my opinion, but these kind of have a similar formula to the Ultra Satin lips. They're not bone dry matte, but they manage to stay on for a really long time, so they are very comfortable and long wearing, and honestly it's just amazing. I wish the liquid suede range had a few more like shades. So these are the shades right now. This is Soft Spoken, Kitten Heels, and Sandstorm. So good. My favorite ones of all time. And then if we want to talk about lipstick, what I currently have on my lips right now is the H&M Wellies and Tweed lipstick. This is newer to my collection, but I honestly love this formula so much I don't even care. I'm going to mention it right now because this is my favorite affordable lipstick that I own. I'm just going to put it out there. This is definitely a cream finish, so it's not going to be matte, but it lasts all day on the lips, and it has a beautiful kind of like satin kind of effect. It's not like slipping everywhere. Like, it's nicely intact. It stays on. It's very comfortable without feeling too thick or too thin. Like, it's just the perfect consistency. All right, last but not least, for this extra long video, I want to mention setting sprays. The first one I want to mention is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, because look, it's a continuous setting mist. You don't get droplets all over your face, and I know I just mentioned it in my June favorites, so I'm not going to go on about it, but this is so good. It's $15 for 2.8 fluid ounces, so it will last you a decent amount of time, but for $15, I think that it is worth it because there's nothing else like it on the market currently. And then the Milani Make It Last setting spray is actually the setting spray I went in when I first did my makeup today. This claims it has 16-hour wear. It locks in your makeup, and it really does. The mist on this is also very fine. It does contain alcohol as a second ingredient, which is what makes your makeup really last and like kind of lock in. So if you have dry skin and you feel it becoming like super tight, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this for like a daily use, but I think that it is a really, really good setting spray to make your makeup just like kind of last, you know? Okay, everyone, and that is it for this roundup of my favorite slash best slash holy grail slash top dog affordable makeup products. I know this was a long video. Thank you for bearing with me. I really hope that I may have given you suggestions. By the way, these are all cruelty free, of course. Obviously, like everything I mentioned here is cruelty free, but these are just products that I think are so good. Hopefully you give them a try and you like them too. Leave me a comment down below with what your favorite affordable makeup is. I would love to know. I'm always on the hunt for the next best affordable thing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day wherever you are, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Oh, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Okay, I'm done. Bye guys. Mwah.